I'm so sorry. I was on at 11 o'clock, but I didn't realize that I didn't press start broadcast. So I was talking to myself for 4 minutes. Sorry, you guys. I was trying to pull myself up. Let me turn down the volume. But yeah, so now I have your comments if you guys are commenting. All right, I think I got it. If you guys can see me, can you guys say hey or something? I just want to make sure that I got this up right. I did comments disabled in this video. Why is it like that? Come on. Let me see. I don't know if you guys can comment because according to my video, it says comments are disabled. And let me try to fix that really quick because they shouldn't be disabled. I did not press them to be disabled. Live streaming. Let me just fix the settings. Anyways, if you guys can see me, can you guys give this video a thumbs up just to make sure I'm like, I see y'all. Like you guys, I can make sure that you guys see me and everything is smooth. Just give me a thumbs up. Yay! Hello, you guys. I'm always having difficulties. What is going on? All right. So let me just kind of give you guys a quick rundown of what I'm going to be talking about today. Because I'm going to try to do it a little bit more structured instead of me just kind of talking to you, like just randomly talking about topics. So let me pull up my list of stuff. Yes, I have a list of stuff to talk about. So, oops, where is my pen? So the first thing I'm going to talk about is my qualifications, how I got to Korea, what I like, basically my resume, because I know a lot of people are like, well, do I stack up? Am I good enough? Yada, yada, yada. So I'm just going to tell you guys what I had, because a lot of people are interested in that. And then the next thing I'm going to talk about is the changes that EPIK/GEPIK is having, or in how that affects current teachers and how that's going to affect new teachers that will be coming in. And then I'm going to give you guys some tips on how to get a job in Korea, how to get a teaching job in Korea. Anything else I'm not really familiar with, but teaching jobs like via EPIK, GEPIK, I'll give you advice for that. Anyways, I'm still trying to edit. Let's see. Advanced settings. Come on, allow embedding. Where's my comments? Allow comments. Yeah, it says allow all comments. I don't know why it's saying that those comments can't be allowed. I don't know. Oh, hey, yay, everybody got it. All right, so the first thing I am talking about are my qualifications. So let me pull up that. So the first thing many people ask me is, what was your major? I can tell you I did not have anything to do with teaching. I had nothing to do with, like, I mean, I really did not plan on going into teaching long term. My major is sociology, okay? Sociology. This is nothing fancy, nothing special, nothing specific for teaching, just sociology. My minors were child development and psychology. So with those majors and minors, my plan is to go into nonprofit. So yeah, I did not go into college knowing that I want to teach abroad, because I didn't think about it up until like my senior year of college. However, I did majors that would help me get where I want to be in the future. Now, teaching in Korea is something that's going to help me get where I want to go, because it's another resume builder. It's different experiences. It's international experience, but it's not going to, my major doesn't limit me to only teach. Did that make sense? All right. So while I was in college, I'm going to tell you about my experience, because many people, I think when you are applying, everybody's like, oh, just put everything that you do with kids on there, and you should be okay, because obviously many people come straight out of college and come straight to Korea with no kind of teaching experience whatsoever. Now, for me, I had actually graduated 2 years before coming to Korea. So I graduated, and then I worked for a year, and then I came to college, or came to Korea. But let me start with what I did in college, okay, which kind of led up to where I am now. As you guys know, I want to go into nonprofit. I'm going to tell you that constantly over and over, because that's where I see myself. However, I know I want to go into nonprofit for children, so I focused my organization involvement while I was in college around that. So I was a president of 2 organizations. I founded one of the organizations that I was the president of. I actually found at my campus, which was, the organization focuses on mentoring and tutoring young girls in the community and connecting them with collegiate mentors. So I think that was a huge thing that I was able to like really push and say, hey, I tutored and I mentored kids, ages 7 to 17. That's a huge age range. So I really pushed that. I also did a lot of volunteering work. By the time I graduated, I had over 600 hours of community service, just random stuff. A lot of it had to do with the mentoring and tutoring side of that I was doing. But again, it expands into homelessness and feeding, soup kitchens, cleaning streets, all that other stuff. So yeah, those were my qualifications. So my senior year of college, I also worked with another nonprofit, and this nonprofit focused on high schoolers, on connecting high schoolers with internship possibilities. We focus on professional development. I had to create lessons for professional development, not for curriculum, like teaching them ABCs, whatnot, but focus on professional development, like, interview skills, how to dress, all that good stuff. And then after that, when I graduated, I worked with the United Way in Central Florida, and I was a Vista. I don't know if you guys are familiar with what Vista is, but basically Vista is a volunteer in service to America. And so I really didn't get paid anything. It was basically another full-time volunteer experience that, I worked on a school campus. I really pushed that. I worked on a school campus, elementary school campus, but I didn't focus on children. I focused on bringing resources in for the teachers and for the schools, like reward incentives, school nights, things like that. I really didn't work directly with the kids in that sense, but I really fed into the way of making it seem like I worked really close with when you look at it down the line, it impacted the kids. So as long as it impacted the kids, that's how I expressed it. And sorry if you guys are hearing like scratching in the background, it's my cat, because she likes to scratch on her little board. Okay. All right. So those are my qualifications before coming. Okay. So yeah. In addition to that, I got a TESOL certification. Now, for those of you guys that want to come to Korea, a TESOL certification is going to be mandatory. This is, many people are trying to get around the TESOL certification, but right now I would suggest you get a TESOL certification in class. The one that I got, I actually got two. The one that I got was, the first one was from a Groupon, like a $69 Groupon, like a really cheap Groupon, through the Global Leadership College. Now, there's a whole bunch of different Groupons that, and I've told you guys this before, there's a whole bunch of different Groupons on that you can find really, really cheap TESOL certifications for. However, if it's accredited, that's another story. You have to do your research and see if it's an actual accredited program. All right. Now, you could look up what accredited means, but I think right now schools are lenient, so you could get away with it, but you want to make sure that you are safe. You don't want to spend your money on something, go through this entire process, and they say, this is not even a real certificate. So, I was afraid of that because the first program I went through was not accredited. So to save my butt, I went and I got another TESOL through the Oxford seminars. Now, many people know Oxford seminars because it's really popular, and they have the in-class portion and the online class portion. It is an investment, and I was really hurting when I had to pay my money up for that. But I think that if you're going to, if you want to make sure that you're safe, then you need to make sure you go the accredited route with a legit organization, okay? And right now, and the way that EPIK and GEPIK is going, it's going to be mandatory to have the online portion. Right now, it's not necessarily mandatory, but it's going to be definitely mandatory to have the in-class portion. So you might as well just go ahead and do that. Yeah, so Korean Fast Pathfinder, he said the TESOL is not required if you have a master's degree in education, which is true. If you are like a certified teacher, if you have degrees in English, a master's degree in English, you don't have to get a TESOL. But everybody else other than that, yes, you need a TESOL or TEFL certification. In my case, I only had sociology major, so I had to go that route. Coco Sweet Kisses, the Corvia TESOL program, I can't give an opinion on that because I didn't do that. I didn't go through that route, so I'm not really sure. It's on the Corvia's website. So if Corvia is saying that they would take it, then it has to be a good program. But in my opinion, I can't say if it's good or not because I haven't taken it or I haven't done it. So yeah, that is pretty much the steps I took to get here. I made sure I got accredited. I had some kind of volunteer experience. I did work before, and thank you, girl. And yeah, that's really how I got here. So I'm not like a certified teacher or anything. So do you guys have any questions in regards to experience and qualifications to get a job in Korea? Anybody? If you have a degree, okay, so Honey Buns, I heard that having a bachelor's degree in teaching is good enough. I don't know about only a bachelor's degree. I would say a certification in teaching. Now, if you have a certification in teaching, don't come to Korea because you're not going to be making any money. You might unless you decide to work at a college. If you have a certification in teaching, you need to take your butt to Dubai, okay? Take your butt to the Middle East and be like living it up in these fancy places, okay? That's what you need to do. Jillian Johnson, would you have a TEFL certification with over the requirement? So on my resume, I had both the online, the bootleg global leadership thing that I got from Groupon, and I had the Oxford. So even though the global leadership is not technically accredited, they took it. So therefore I had 100, how much did I know that together my TESOL certification was 210 hours, which I really, really pushed. And I was hoping that they took the online portion, which they did. But I don't know if it's going to push you above the rest. I think it's mainly what puts you above the rest is the actual certifications and your actual like your degrees that you have. That's what's going to put you above the rest rather than the certifications. The certifications is just supplementary. But if you do have the degree, then that's going to put you above the rest. However, let me go into this, okay? If you are interested in teaching ESL, but you don't see yourself doing it long term, do not limit yourself with a teaching degree or like an English major degree, because what are you going to do with that afterwards? My suggestion is to go whichever route you want to go, whether it's sociology, business, whatever. Do what you need to do, and then get the TEFL certification on top of that. Because once you limit yourself after you're done teaching, you're going to be stuck in a career that you're not even happy with. So go in the route that you see yourself continuing after you're finished teaching. Okay. Did you really deep in debt from service hours? I'm trying to work full time and go to school. Deep in debt from service hours. All right, I'm going to say this wrong. Pao Vang. So I only work part-time. Now, if you're working full-time and you're going to school full-time, don't worry about all that other volunteering, because I think that you can push the fact that you are balancing, you're successfully balancing a full-time work schedule and school schedule, which shows your strength in time management skills. You are persistent. You could push on that rather than the volunteering, and it will reflect how strong of a worker and how hard of a worker you are. And I think that that's the route I would go rather than the volunteer route, because I would not be volunteering at any time if I'm working full-time and I'm doing school full-time. That's crazy, okay? But I would focus on your skills to actually be able to handle a very multitasking and very busy schedule. Kara D, how is the process getting your E2 visa? Does it apostle to come from the state? Kara, I'm going to come back to that question. I'm going to leave that to the end, because that's a completely different thing, okay? Because for me, it's very different, and it was a difficult process. So I'm going to go back into that, okay? So let me move on to changes with EPIK and GEPIK, because I know a lot of people are interested in what's going on with that. So let me explain how I know this information. My co-teacher went to a meeting, basically a meeting to explain what's going on, how things are changing, what to expect, and she told me this information. In addition, I also called my GEPIK advisor, and I asked additional questions on top of that. So what I'm going to tell you is straight from what my co-teacher explained to me, and from what I have talked to about the GEPIK advisor. So this is what they're doing in Korean Pathfinder. I see your questions, and that's what I'm going to be talking about. Okay, so what's going on with GEPIK? Now, if you guys don't know, GEPIK it's called gyeonggi-do English program in Korea. Okay, gyeonggi-do is a mass area that surrounds Seoul. So Seoul is here, and then Gyeonggi is all around Seoul. Okay, so yeah. Everywhere else, Seoul and everywhere else in Korea is controlled by EPIK. The only place that's not controlled by EPIK is GEPIK. which is around Seoul, okay, which is a program I came through. So what is happening is that EPIK will be taking over GEPIK. So GEPIK will be phasing out and will be disappearing. Therefore, if you are looking to apply it to get a public school job in Korea, you will have to go through EPIK. This is not going to be I don't want to say official. It's not going to be going fully implemented until 2019, okay? So basically GEPIK is disappearing. That's what's going on, okay? What's going on is that many schools are losing funding, okay? Many schools their funding is going down, and that's why EPIK is coming into the picture, and it's just making up the process easier by just going through one program. Now, currently in the gyeonggi-do district or province, schools have the ability to change from the GEPIK to the EPIK program. So right now it's optional. If they would like to change their process, they can do so. According to the advisor that I spoke to, there are currently 50 schools in Gyeonggi-do which will be going through the EPIK process. Okay, so 50 schools have changed over to EPIK and will be going through the EPIK process. I don't know about the other schools yet, but that will be later to come. Okay, this is really in the very beginning stages. So right now, what does that? Let me make sure I hit on everything. Yes. So right now, what does that mean for current teachers in the GEPIK program? Right now, that means that you have this year, okay, if you're here until spring or fall of next year, your job is okay. But if you're planning on staying after that, that is when things get kind of iffy. Because if you are planning to stay 2 or more years past fall of 2017 to 2018, going on 2019, you will most likely have to reapply to the program through the EPIK program, and there is no guarantee that you're going to get the same school that you've had and that you're going to get the same benefits that you've had, okay? Because everything is changing. In my opinion, things are going to be changing very, very dramatically. I can't tell you how they're going to be changing because I haven't seen the new contract. I haven't seen anything, but I'll give you my opinion of what's going to happen. So you're going to have to reapply into EPIK, through the EPIK program. So which can kind of be a slap in the face because it's just like, maybe you've been here for 2+ years and now you lose all your benefits. You're not going to have the, maybe, because, if you stay more than 1 year, you get bonuses, you get bonus days, pension and all that stuff. But you may have to end up changing schools or you may lose your job completely. So with, trying to get the other part. So what does this mean for new teachers that are wanting to come to Korea? This means that public school positions will be much harder to get because it will be going through the EPIK process, okay? So most likely you're going to have to, if there's a specific location that you want to be, like for example, Seoul or Daegu or Daejeon or Busan, if there's a specific location you want to be, you're most likely going to have to go the private school route because a lot of these public schools are in the rural areas. The reason why schools in the major areas are losing funding is because the government believes that these students have more opportunities to learn English in their natural environment because they're surrounded by foreigners, because they're in a populated area such as Seoul. So the people on the rural areas, which many people consider disadvantaged, underprivileged students, that's where these schools that need English teachers are going to be. So that's why a lot of these schools that these schools that you could go to will be way out in the middle of nowhere. Okay. So yeah, you're gonna have less positions available, less preferred regions, and you're gonna be more rural. So that's what that really means. Now, let me give you my opinion on what's going to happen. So my opinion on these changes, I believe that EPIK is going to up their requirements, meaning that maybe they're going to only be requiring English, like not now, but like in the next 2, 3, 4 years, they're going to be requiring English degrees, no more TESOL, TOEFL certification. Maybe they'll even accept CELTA certifications, which is like a little bit more in depth. I think that again, I think positions are definitely going to be decreasing, and people who have preferential treatment will be the teachers that are already here in Korea, because then the schools don't have to pay for their incoming, outgoing, their flight and travel fees. So I think those are some of the biggest changes that are going on. Yeah. Do you guys have any questions in regards to it? Do you think Hagwon jobs benefits? Korean Pathfinder. He asked, he or she, I'm sorry. Do you think Hagwon jobs / benefits are going to increase as public school jobs benefits go down? If so, how long do you think it will take for Korea to adjust to that? I don't think that things are going to really change on the Hagwon side. I believe that if anything, that is going to be everything is going down. Like, this is just my opinion. This is no facts. This is my opinion. I don't think that your benefits are going to be increasing in any way. Okay, because they know that these are hard sought after positions. Maybe it would be a different message if nobody wants to stay in these jobs, and they need something to help want teachers to stay. We'll offer you more benefits, but they know that these jobs are hard to seek out, hard sought jobs. So people are willing to take, if people are willing to take these jobs for those benefits, then they're not going to be giving anything else. Okay, so I really don't think that benefits are going to be going up. However, I think in the next 10 years, I think that foreign English teachers are definitely not going to be a thing. I think that those jobs are going to transfer over to Korean citizens that have English speaking abilities, because I really think that that's what's going on. They're training their students to be proficient in English, and it's going to help save them money. They're not going to have to do all this other stuff. So I really think that in the next 10 years, you're not going to see many English teachers unless they are certified. So any other questions in regards to that? Yes, no, maybe so. All right. So I'm going to give you some tips on how to get a job in Korea. And I don't want to say how to get a job, just tips for you, people who are interested in getting a position in Korea. Now, one thing is, I see a lot of people who ask me questions and they're like, oh, I'm only in middle school, but I really want to teach English in Korea. And I'm like, sweetheart, middle school, you still got like 10 years of school ahead of you. Like, you don't even worry about limiting yourself right now. Like, just live your life. And then once it gets to that stage, then go in and go ahead and do it. But my first tip, and I said this earlier, is focus on your future after ESL teaching. If you do not see yourself teaching English for the rest of your life, then don't limit your major, don't limit your lives, don't limit everything to only being able to teach ESL classes, because then you may not be happy in the end. Focus on what your true passion is, and ESL teaching for 2-3 years, if that's what you want to do, will just be one of the stepping stones for you to get to your ultimate goal. My next tip is, yeah, like I said, don't change your major. Don't focus on one major because there's no guarantee that these positions are going to be available in the next couple years. Okay, there's no say that these qualifications are going to be the same because, like I said, I think the qualifications are going to get harder and harder. So yeah, don't get limited. That's the main thing that I really want to get through to you guys. Don't limit yourself to only one major, to only do one thing, okay? Because there's no guarantee that these jobs are still going to be here 5 to 10 years from now, okay? And yeah, last thing I've said, and I said this earlier, is to make sure you get an accredited TESOL certification. It's going to help you. Now, if you are serious about teaching English in abroad, look into getting a CELTA. One thing that at least one of my current teachers really advises me is to get a CELTA, because a CELTA is a lot more in depth. Yes, it's longer. It's more of a time commitment. It's more of a financial commitment. However, it helps you so much more with a lot more tips, and it gets you really involved in how to work with the ESL class. I feel like a TESOL certification is like really short. It really touches the outside of what teaching ESL really is. Because, if you watch my update video, I still have difficulty trying to teach in class because it's something that I'm not familiar with. It's something that I'm not used to doing. I'm not sure exactly what which ways to go, So from my understanding, a CELTA will open your minds a lot more than a TEFL certification would ever do. So if you're really, really serious about it, look into getting a CELTA. Yeah. So in the meantime, I think that's really all that I had for you guys. Please, if you have any additional questions, put them, link them in the chat, and I'm going to try to comment. So I'm starting from the beginning, and I'm looking for any questions on here, and I'll answer as I go. Okay. Let's see. Unaccepted full claim. So I think I'm going to butcher your name. How Vangs asked, is it the norm, and is it normal, and is it accepted for Korean companies to accept people that have no teaching experience? Yes, it is. It is normal. 2 years ago, actually, people didn't even need a TESOL certification. You could come straight out of college and just hop on. Well, I don't say hop on a plane, but you could get a teaching job like that. And now they're adding little by little more requirements. So yeah, it's a norm because actually teachers like me, ESL teachers, we get paid a lot less in compared to other certified teachers. So they save money in a sense, but it's one of the best options for us, and they know that. So yeah, it is normal at the moment. Let's see. Questions. Scrolling, you guys, scrolling. Okay, hold on. All right, so Kara D asked, how was the process in getting your E2 visa? Does the apostle on the FBI background check have to come from the State Department, or could you get it through the Secretary of State? Let me think. Because this was a long time ago, you guys. This was I was doing that a year ago. No, not even a year ago. Less than a year ago. I started my FBI process in February. What did I do for my FBI check? The secretary. I believe it has to come through this. Don't quote me on this because you have to look it up. I believe it comes through the Secretary of State. I know I had to send my FBI check to Tallahassee, which is the capital of Florida. I had to send mine there, and they had to put this special stamp and then send it back. But the reason why my process is kind of like I don't like to use my process as an example because I literally I literally had to fly to Washington, D.C. to get my my Korean visa done, all that stuff. Like I flew to Washington, D.C., okay? So like for me, usually people have a lot more time to do that, but for me, I didn't have that much time, and I was willing to spend that money to get that all done like in a proficient amount of time. Like I walked into the visa office. What did I do? No. Because I went to Washington, D.C. and I went to New York. Oh my gosh. You guys, I'm not an ideal candidate to talk about my E2 visa because I spent so much money doing all this other extra stuff. But I went to the locations in person to get this stuff done, okay? And that means I flew around the entire United States to do that. All right, Coco Sweet Kisses says, I'm looking at the August time frame. Is it now too early to get all my documents together and apply now? August, yeah, it's kind of early. If you're planning on doing it in August, I would say to start getting your stuff ready like May, June, July. Yeah, start doing it in May. Even with your background check, I wouldn't even get my background check done until like June, because your background check only lasts 6 months. So after that, if you don't have a job within 6 months, then you have to go get that background check again, which was part of my case, which is why one of the reasons why I had to fly all over the United States for that. Sakura 2838, she asks, hi, I'm not sure if you talked about this before, but what is the typical workload as an English teacher besides making lesson plans and teaching class? What else is there? Writing exams? All right, I'm going to explain on what I do. Every teacher is different. Everybody that I teach or talk with they have a different dynamic. But at my school, so of course I teach classes, I do lesson plans and all that stuff. But in addition to that, I do after school classes twice a week. So I really only have like 14 classes that I teach up front. Again, this is different for every class, every school. I have about 14 classes that I teach just regular teaching. Then I have 2 classes where I do after school class. And, you know, it's just a mix of students, and, you know, it's English based. Usually the class I have is just advanced students that want to improve their English. So I give them tips on fluency and stuff like that. I also do an additional class once a month on for 3rd graders, or they're like the 8th graders of middle school. And I do that once a month with them. And then also when it comes to exams, I don't actually write any exams. They actually come, teachers, other English teachers actually come to me to evaluate the exams to make sure that everything is grammatically correct and there's no mistakes. And that's pretty much it. But again, I think every school is different. From the teacher that worked at my school before me, I talked to her in regards to her new school, and she said, oh, I'm so much more busier than I was at this school. So maybe I'm not as busy as I could be. I'm not sure. So yeah. Let's see. Oh no, did I just lose my spot? I just lost my spot. Okay, when applying, do you choose, Jillian Johnson says, when applying, do you choose just one preference in regards to location, or do you choose many? I'm worried if I put down Seoul, Busan, or Daegu, I will get selected. when I applied, because remember, I applied, okay, remember I applied to EPIK and I got denied by EPIK. If you guys haven't seen that video, I'll probably try to link it somewhere. Or you could go back into my videos. It says denied by EPIK. But I originally got denied by EPIK, and so I went the GEPIK route. Okay. I'm going to tell you straightforward. There's basically no positions in Seoul, no public school positions in Seoul, unless you are a certified teacher and you've had many years experience. Like, public school route is not, if you want to get into a Seoul, public school route is not the way to go, because most likely you're not going to get it. Okay. So if you really want to be in Seoul, you need to go to the public school or the private school route. Okay. Hagwons. So you need to look into that, but it's really up to you. I'm not in private schools. I only hear stories about private schools, and not all of them are good. I wouldn't say the vast majority are not great because of a lot of things that happen. I want to say one of the biggest things are the parents. The parents have a lot of control. It's very political, and it's not necessarily fostering an educational environment. It's more so who has the most money and what their students can get with that money. So it's really up to you if you want to do that route. I would say just keep your options open in regards to that, because Seoul, Busan, and Daegu are not the only places to go. If you want to see areas where you can be, download the Seoul subway app, and you'll be like, oh wow, all these other cities are so close to Seoul. Like, for me, I live in Namyangju, which is about an hour east of Seoul, which is nothing, because like hour by train is nothing. Like, seriously, like subway, not like train, like, oh, you're going straight forward, like subway, like stop and go an hour. That's nothing. It's like 30 minutes by car. So have your options open, like open your mind. Okay. Do I know any okay, Korean Pathfinder asked, do you know any reputable places to earn CELTA? I do not. Personally, I would say Google is going to be your best friend. Dorian Guyton asked, how much creative wiggle room do you have in the classroom? How much is already structured for you? And again, this is very different. It's different per class, different per school. My school gives me a book. However, they say these are the key expressions. So let's say the key expression is, what are you going to do tomorrow? I'm going to blah, blah, blah. That's basically what I have to teach the kids. This is that basic thing. I can use a book for other examples or for other like activities and stuff like that. But however, the teachers, my co-teachers, are like, make it fun, make it interesting, because the book is usually very bland and very boring. So other than the key expressions, I really have like freedom to do what I want in the class, as long as it pertains to what needs to be taught. So yeah, there's not much structured for me, but again, I know there's some teachers that I know, like some English teachers that I know say, oh, my teacher told me I have to follow the book verbatim. Like, I have to just do what the book says. I have to use the book CD and everything. So sometimes it's just like, you're not really doing anything. You're just there as decoration and you're doing what the book said. Like, it's something that somebody else could do. I know a lot of teachers have feel kind of negative towards that, because it's like, I'm only here to show that I'm a foreigner, to speak to the kids and so they could hear my pronunciation. And I'm not really actually teaching, like being a teacher to my fullest potential. I'm just here just because. Yeah, I'll come to you over. Ooh, you love Yas. You love Yas. You love Yas. She says, or he says, I'm not sure. Off topic, but did you ever think about going to Japan or the JET program? Actually, yes, I did. Japan, I actually wanted to do Japan before I chose Korea. Yeah, and the JET program was a program that I was going to go through. However, one thing that kind of turned me off was the entire selection process, where I would have to go to New York, and then like it's like a 3-day weekend kind of thing, where if you pass the first round, then you get to stay for the next round, and if you didn't pass the first round, then they're like, oh well, sorry, you can't stay. I was like, I don't know if I want to handle rejection like that. But that's not the only reason why I didn't end up choosing Japan. Another one of the reasons that I didn't do Japan was because of how much money they make, and compared to Korea, the benefits that are provided to you, it was less at the time, less than Korea. When you're considering housing, when you're considering pensions, the amount that you're making. Also, I think one of the biggest thing was the cost of living. The cost of living in Japan is much higher than it is in Korea, and your ability to save money is not as high as compared to Korea. So that's one of the biggest things that one of the biggest reasons why I did not choose a JET program, and I ended up going to Korea instead. Nulsi Paula Carvajal. She says, I'm graduating college in 2018, so that's 3 years from now. It's probably going to be difficult to find a teaching job in Korea by then. In my opinion, I believe that the way things are changing, it may be. However, there's no harm in trying. So it just passed. Let me see. Okay, Funny Bones 123 asks, do you think you will stay in Korea for another year? Is it quite easy to renew your contract once the year is almost up? All right, so let me first explain what my co-teacher explained to me. Now, again, this is what she explained to me, and this may help anybody who's a current teacher in Korea. So as I said, I'm in the GEPIK I came through the GEPIK program, and GEPIK is turning over to EPIK. So there's some processes that are already going the EPIK route from my understanding. My co-teacher explained to me that when you want to renew a contract, when you want to renew your contract, one of the things that they have to take into consideration through the GEPIK process is the head teacher's approval and the principal's approval. So you actually have to, like, they have a meeting in regards to your work. Do they want to keep you and stuff like that? So the school chooses if they want you to stay or not through the GEPIK program. Now, this is what my teacher explained to me. Through the new changes, if you want to stay, if the teacher wants to stay at a school, they can stay. It's not up to the school to make that final decision. If the teacher wants to stay, they can stay. So if I want to stay, then I can stay. I don't have to wait for anybody else to tell me I could stay or not. Am I going to stay? I'm not going to say if I'm going to stay or not. Right now I'm just waiting to see what happens. And if there's, like, I think one of the things that I would like to see is how much of a change there will be to the upcoming contract, which I would like to see, and that's going to decide if I will stay or not. Okay. But once I decide if I'm staying, then I'll make a video and be like, oh, I'm coming, or I'm going home, something like that. Okay. Young Travels, thank you. Let's see. Okay, Youngkook Travels asks, will you extend or find a different contract? If I decide that I do want to stay, I would stay at the same school because one, I have experience with the co-teachers and I know how everybody works there. And two, because the benefits, the financial benefits, you get pay grades. Okay, once you start changing school, you stay on the bottom. You stay on that bottom pay grade, and I wouldn't want to do that. Sakura 2838 asks, so you don't have to do anything in terms of grading or helping with coming up with some marks for their report card. I do grading. Usually I grade speaking tests. So for all grades, I listen to their speaking tests. It could be like a presentation. It could be just like they memorized like the speech, but I grade their speaking test. And so that's like twice semester. So this week coming up is going to be testing, all testing. So this week I did second grade testing. Next week is third grade testing. But this semester there's no first grade testing. So first grade is good. I'm trying to read your comments. Brittany E, what was your question? I'm sorry, my thing keeps on like I keep on trying to scroll down, but my comment box just goes all the way to the end, so I have to try to scroll back up and find where I like the place where I was at. Oh, but let me just kind of finish what I was going to say. Sakura. So they don't get a grade from the students don't get a grade for my class. Like they don't get anything for my class. And if you watched my eighth month update, that's one thing that I was talking about, because like, what can I do to motivate my students to participate and want to be in my class? Because there's nothing that they're really getting out of it. They don't have to work really hard because they're not getting a grade out of my class. So it's like, what can I do to better them? So yeah, my class doesn't add to their report card at all. Yeah. DD says, I live in Osan, and it takes 2.5 hours by KTX to get to Seoul. So Seoul is not far away from anywhere in Korea. Yeah, I mean, really, Seoul is not really that far. I mean, even from Busan, it takes 3 hours to get, like, by the KTX, it takes 3 hours to get there. It may seem long, but I mean, if you go for like a extended weekend, you could do a whole bunch of stuff in Seoul. Okay, and Korea is super small. Like, it's super small. It's smaller than Florida. Okay, that's how I compare. I compare on a map. I'm like, you see Florida, you see Korea. Korea is like 2/3 of the size of Florida. It's tiny. The Seoul Subway app is literally called Seoul Subway. So Jillian Johnson, let me show you what it looks like. So, all right, so this is my traveling thing. Can you see this? That's what it looks like. Subway right there. I'm gonna click it. Did it click? Oops. I actually have a video on the Seoul Subway app on the Corvia webpage, Corvia YouTube channel, about how to use this app. So if you guys want to check that out, you guys can. But look, just go into your app store and look up Korea Subway app, and just look for that icon that I showed you, the one with the, where is it? Excuse me. So this one right here, the one with the subway right there, just look for that. Okay, it might be a different color, like blue or something, because it changes when there's an update, but just look for that train. Okay, and it's the company that creates it is like Malong something. So look for the creator's name as Malong, blah blah blah. Okay, Coco Sweet Kisses asks, I know this is not a qualification related, but as far as salary, with apartment being paid and flight to and from, is our salary enough to live on? Girl, yes. Okay. It is more than enough to live on. Okay. Like, I can't even explain. This is what one of the main reasons why I tell you guys, you need to be in Korea or try to get in Korea. If you're like in a position where you are finished graduated and you're like, oh, should I go to Korea? I don't know. Do it. Like, you might as well do it sooner than later, because the more you hold off, the less possibility there is that there's going to be jobs here. Even if you get put in the boondocks, it's better than, the pay is better than anything that you would get in the United States. Like, I can't even express, like, because, okay, the reason why I'm so like gung-ho about it is because, like, no job that I have ever had in the United States has ever paid me close to what I make in Korea. Okay, so I went from broke to like feeling like I'm balling. Okay. You guys, I got real like I got real excited for all of a sudden. But I'm telling you, you need to be in Korea if you can. If you are in that position where you're still on the fence, like, oh, should I do it? Like, I'm done, like, or I graduate soon. I don't know. Do it. Like, do it sooner than later. Like, I can't even explain. Like, just being like, the money that I get is like, hold on. Let me hold on. Okay. So I had to get my bills for you guys, okay? Because these are the only bills that I really have to pay. So my first bill, I'm not sure what it is because it's all in Korean. So my first bill is, I believe it's electricity. Yeah, my electricity bill, okay? Let me show you what I pay for my electricity per month. Okay? So this month, this is how much I have to pay. It may, if you don't understand Korean compared to the US dollar, then you'll be like, whoa, that's a lot. 12,000 won, that's equivalent to almost $12 US dollars. $12, okay? Last month, guess how much I had to pay? Guess how much I had to pay for my electricity now? Anybody? I had to pay $6 for my electricity. Y'all, if you follow me on Snapchat, then you would have seen that, because that was like the cheapest I've ever seen it. And I was like, I have to Snapchat this. Like, this is one of the main reasons why I'm in Korea. What? $12 for electricity, and then I have my other bill, my water bill, a little bit more expensive, $36. Okay, $36. Okay, so when you're taking into consideration, you're making about $2,000 a month, and you're paying like $40 for your stuff, and maybe $200 a month for food. You still got at least $1,500 in your pocket to do whatever you want. You could save, you could do this, you could do that. Y'all, I'm going to next is it next month already? 2 months, 3 months. February, I'm going to India and China, y'all. And like, it's not even a problem because I got money. Okay. So, like I said, Coco Sweet Kisses, you have more than enough to live off of. That's the bottom of what I want to like tell you. Okay. So, let me see. No. Yo, okay. Dee says, I also agree. Money is good here, and everyone is a millionaire, basically. 1,000,000 won is equal to $1,000. Yeah. But if you guys think that we're making a lot of money in Korea, listen, go to Dubai, okay? If you guys have a teaching certification, don't waste your time in Korea. Maybe spend like a year here if you want to, but take your butt to Dubai, okay? Take your behind to Dubai, because, you know, when I really looked at these salaries and like the quality of life living abroad as an English teacher, it really questioned my future. Like, I really questioned, like, do I really want to go into nonprofit, or do I want to be a teacher for the rest of my life? Because I could be balling around the world, okay? So I'm just saying, like, if this is what you want to do, consider going in that route, because jobs for English teachers are pretty prevalent throughout not the United States, but throughout the world. And if this is something you want to do long term, then you literally don't have to come back to the United States or the UK or South Africa or Ireland, wherever all you guys are from. You guys could just travel the world teaching English, living a life. Like, I'm just saying. Let me see. My mouth just dropped at $12, you guys. I cannot. All right. Okay, so Cute Bakes asked, what was your experience with the health check for the E2 visa? I'm planning to apply to EPIK, and it's something I'm nervous about. You guys, I'm not gonna lie, I was really nervous about the health check too. I was like, oh my gosh, like, what are they gonna be checking? Like, what are they doing? Like, do I have to like spread my legs? I don't know. I was so nervous. This is literally what they do. They take your blood pressure, they take your weight, they do a lung chest, or no, a lung x-ray. Like, they put you on the x-ray and they scan you, and that's it. Like, I literally thought it was going to be like a physical exam where they're going to be checking my blood and everything. Like, they didn't do any of that. And I'm like scared of needles, okay? They didn't do anything. And I was like, well, that was easy. It was a lot less than I thought it was. All right. 13 Mystique asked, does age affect the chances of being hired? I don't know if somebody asked this already, but by the time I apply, I'll be 30, though I look super young. I think that if you are over the age of 40, I think it can't affect your chances. But if you're 30, girl, you are good, okay? I know some people that are like well into their 30s, and they're like, oh yeah, I've been teaching here for 6 years. I'm like, dang. So I think that you'll be more than fine. Yeah, I know that age is a big thing, but here in Korea, but I think that looks is also another big thing. So hold on one second. Whew. My computer was dying. That would not be good. All right, let me make sure I'm getting all the questions. Okay, so Korean Pathfinder asks a very similar questions about the 30s. I think that you'll be okay. You'll be okay. Okay. All right. Did I get everybody? Did I get everybody's question? Do they do a full medical check? No, they didn't. For me, so Gyeonggi Travels asked if they did like HIV tests and stuff like that. No, they didn't take any blood. They didn't take any blood from me. Yeah, they didn't take any blood from me. No, that's a lie. That's a complete lie. I'm so sorry. They did take blood from me. They did take blood from me. So they did take blood. That's a lie. But they did take blood. They took like 1 vial of blood, and that was it. KB612 asked, did I have teaching experience before coming to Korea? No, I did not have formal teaching experience at all. The only kind of teaching experience I had was teaching professional development, like what to do in interviews, how to dress, how to dress professionally, stuff like that. That's kind of like the gist of what teaching experience I had. Yeah. So Korean Pathfinder said, in regards to health check, if you had some small problems like asthma or as a child or your tonsils removed, don't even mention it on the application. I've heard EPIK can be paranoid. Yes, I do agree with that. Okay, on the EPIK application, it states to list any medical conditions that will affect can affect you, like your life or something like that. If there's anything that won't affect you in your day-to-day ability to teach English, don't even put it on there. Okay, that's what I suggest. Now, if it's like diabetes, something where you need medication all the time, that could be a problem. But if it's something minor, like for example, I've had my meniscus torn, and sometimes my knee like dislocates every like once a year. I didn't even mention that because I don't want them to worry about it. I didn't want that to hinder me. So that's what I would say. I would say don't even mention it. All right. So Yongguk Travels asks, outside of Seoul / Gyeonggi-do, where is your favorite place in Korea? I haven't really traveled around in Korea too much. The only place I went to was Busan. But I really did like Busan. It reminded me of home. It reminded me of Florida. And I want to say my favorite place that like kind of like overwhelmed me in Busan was, oh gosh, what was it? Gyeonggi Beach. Gyeonggi Beach. It's like basically this bay where there's a beach, and in the distance you see you see a bridge. You see like a beautiful bridge, and at 8 o'clock every night there's a light show on the bridge. And then if you look around, like literally all around are just lights. Like if you're there at night, it's like so gorgeous. If you want to see what I'm talking about, go to my Busan Busan is awesome vlog, and you'll see like I literally do a pan, and I'm just like, this is like so gorgeous. Like me and my friend Lauren, we just stood there and we just like looked like, this is amazing. Like it was like unreal kind of thing. It was just so beautiful. But I would say that currently that is my favorite place. That has been my favorite place in Korea. And where would you like to go? Yongguk, where would I like to go, like in Korea that I haven't been to before? You know what? I honestly, there's not any place that I am dying to go to in Korea. Like, not to be honest, there's no place that I'm like dying to visit. Of course, I would like to go different places that are unique, but I haven't even made a list and looked into that. At the moment, I'm just trying to save money so I can travel other Asian countries. All right, let me see. Yeah. So Jillian Johnson asked, so just to clarify, the GEPIK program will still be next year, or is it the last year? So 2016 to 2017 we're good. 2017 to 2018, that's where things start getting iffy, and things are going to start being finalizing over to the EPIK process. So I can't answer your question fully, because again, I'm kind of iffy on the exact, like I know that by 2019, like that's the cutoff date, all the schools will be under EPIK. But 2018, that's like the transition period. So I can't say if you like, I can't answer that question fully. I would say at that point, look into what's going on. Look, like, go see if the GEPIK program is redirecting you to EPIK, or that's what I would say. Just wait up until that time when you're ready. So Zoe Taylor asked, random question, how much makeup do you wear on a usual day to teach? And you are beat to the gods. Listen, I only do this for videos because like this is like filming, like this is broadcasting, okay? On a regular day basis, I look crazy. I usually don't even do my makeup at home, and I just have like dark circles under my eyes, and I just bring my foundation and my mascara, and that's it. That's all I do on a regular basis. But when it's for you guys, I gotta look good, okay? Keeps on doing that, refreshing to the end. Dana Mabin asked, in regards to EPIK and GEPIK, is there a way to get a teaching job without going through them? Yes, if you go the Hagwon route. Okay, because those are, EPIK and GEPIK is only for public schools. If you want to go and not go through them, you could go through the Hagwon route. And usually the Hagwon routes are a little bit more lenient on the qualifications. So maybe you don't need to have a in-class TESOL portion. Maybe you only need an online portion. So yeah, they're a little bit more lenient with that. But if you want to do the public school, private school route, that's up to you. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So I'm reading, you guys. Ooh. I'm not a Korean pacifier. I'm not really familiar with Sejong City. Is that somewhere close here? It should be somewhere close, right? King Sejong. love motels are definitely great for travel. I don't think I've stayed in a love motel. No, I haven't yet. But there's some really great hotel. I'm not, like, me personally, I'm not the hostel kind of person. Yeah, I'm not the hostel sharing beds and stuff with people. Like, if I go to Seoul, what I usually do is I rent a hotel and I keep my butt there for myself. I like having my own television. I like having my own big bed. I like having my own bathtub. Yo, there's no bathtubs, and I rented a hotel in Itaewon, and they had a bathtub, and I went and I laid in that bathtub. I was like, oh my gosh, my first bath for the entire year. Like, this was amazing. Jania 333 asked, "Are you planning to teach in another country?" I've thought about it, but I don't know if I don't know if I'm going to teach in another country. I think at this point I'm at the time of my life where I'm just like, okay, my mid-20s are upon me. I'm 24 right now, 25 next year. If I decide to stay, that will be bringing me to 26, and my goal is to at least start my goal is to start my career, like start working towards my ultimate career by then. So by my 30s, I'm set. Like, I'm set in a career where I can work my way up. Does that make sense? Like, I could build up the ladder. So if I decide to go to another country, that's like kind of taking off that time. I don't want to be in my 30s starting my career amongst little 23-year-olds that just got out of college. I don't know. Maybe that's just my opinion. Maybe think my view will change by that point, but like at this current time, that's how I feel. Is it Talia Banks or Talia Banks? Like Tyra Banks. She asked, have there been times where you struggled with talking to someone in Korea? Have you struggled with communication because of the language barrier? Please give an example. Oh yeah, that happens all the time. And what my first like 2 weeks, my first 2 weeks, I did not really leave my apartment because I was afraid of that kind of confrontation. Trying to like wanting to get something and not having any clue what to say. Like, there's just way too many examples. Like, even the other, like yesterday, I went to like a coffee shop, and like I kind of understand how to go through the motions, when I'm at the cash register. But if they ask me anything other than, can I like this is the price of it, like this is the price of your payment, I give them my card. If they ask me anything else other than that, like, I'm like, what? Like, I think one lady asked me if I wanted my receipt, and I was just like, in Korean, and at the time I was like, what? And like, she kept on trying to explain it to me until she had to pick it up and show it to me, and I was like, oh no, I don't know. 아니요, 감사합니다. There's still many times where that there's always going to be that kind of barrier. But I try not to let it overwhelm me, because I've learned how I can kind of work through the motions and get what I need to get. What I can say is that I have my favorite stores, and my favorite stores, they understand I don't speak English. Like, I have like little small mom and pop stores, and they recognize, they know me. When I walk into my favorite pho restaurant, they walk into me, they're like, spicy po? And I'm like, yes, that's it. Like, they know what's going on. Like, I don't have to say anything else. Like, so yeah, there's many times when you're going to have that language barrier, but it's like you can't let that fear of not being able to speak overwhelm you. Trust me, you learn so much about yourself and how you can. I think the most amazing thing is how humans are able to communicate without any kind of language. And that's one thing that I've learned here. Like, I could use very minimal language. I could just use like sign language and people get what I'm trying to say. You know, it's vice versa. Yeah. All right, Younggook Travels asks, if you were to choose a country other than Korea, where would you go next? Oh, I was looking at Bali. I thought Bali would be so beautiful. But then again, I think Bali is one of those places where you have to go there first and then find a job. Yeah. Do you participate in language exchange? I do not participate in language exchange, mainly because I don't have even like the basic Korean questions and sentences even in my mind. I would like to do a little bit more studying with Korean before I actually go to a language exchange, because I feel like it's not going to be productive for me to go to a language exchange and be like, so can you teach me how to say this? Can you say that? Because I don't know. And I really don't know that much stuff. What do you think about jjimjilbangs? If you guys don't know, jjimjilbangs is like basically a big old sauna with a whole bunch of naked people. No, I'm just kidding. It's just basically a big sauna room where you could get like massages and you could sleep in there, and it's like all this stuff. I do not do jjimjilbangs. I am not that open to doing jjimjilbangs. It's not. I know it's not like people are walking around butt naked, but you know. Some people do. You know, I know there's an area in there where they kind of just are free. You know, they could be doing their makeup and like they're just wide open and they feel comfortable just being wide open and free. But yeah, I don't think I'll go to a jjimjilbang. Probably mainly because I already get looked at as, you know, looking different. I don't want people to have another opportunity to try to look me up and down and evaluate my everything in depth. I know that's probably like not probably the best reason why not to go to a jjimjilbang, but yeah, I think it's also I'm just not comfortable. If I were to go to a sauna, I would go to a sauna by myself or with people that I know. I think it's just like kind of, for me, it's uncomfortable. I don't know. Janelli asked, are the qualifications for EPIK and GEPIK getting more competitive? Like I explained earlier, I believe that they're going to be getting more competitive and that they're going to be harsher. Nisli Paula Kabahar. She says, I'm shy in real life though. I feel like the language barrier, it would be even difficult to find friends. Girl, no, trust me, it will not be hard, because you don't have to find anybody. People will find you. Like most of the time I'm just like randomly walking around and people are like, excuse me, do you speak English? Like Koreans, do you speak English? I'm like, yeah. Oh, hi, I'm learning English. Do you want to be my friend? Like, seriously, people just walk up to you out of nowhere. Like that happened to me last weekend in Emart, and we just had a conversation. She's like, can I have your number? We could talk and we could hang out. You're not gonna have any kind of problem. If people see foreigners and they're like, whoa, there's a foreigner in my town, I need to befriend her so I can practice my English. Trust me. You'll have no problems. Yeah, checking out all my goods. Younggook Travels asks, what is your favorite skincare store in Korea? You know, I haven't had too much experience with like skincare stuff, mainly because I really don't need too much skincare stuff. My skin, I've been blessed with pretty clear skin, so I don't really use that much products. However, I did buy something from Olive Young. Yeah, I bought like this coal foaming thing that I use on my face, and it's fine. I don't have any like favorites though, so I can't really answer that. All right, do you guys have any other questions? We're going on an hour and a half on this vlog or this live chat. Anybody else, you guys? I'm gonna try to cut it off by 12:30, or well, it's 12:30 for me. It's probably like 10:30, right? 10:30 for you guys. Yeah, it's Sunday over here, you guys. So it's the morning, the afternoon now. I know you guys are still in Saturday. Anything else? Anything else, you guys. Oops, whoops, there are. Whoops. Whoa. All right, Coco Sweet Kisses asked about being able to transfer money from Korean banks to your banks here in the States. So what, I did a lot of research on this, okay? And I'm still kind of struggling with it. So the first thing I did when I got to Korea is I opened a bank account. And the way I opened a bank account, I opened a city bank account, because if you have a city bank account in any country and you open a city bank in your country, like if I open a city bank in the United States, you have the ability to transfer money directly from one city bank to another city bank without incurring fees. The only thing is the exchange rate, which supposedly is very decent at Citibank. The only problem is that you have to have a certain kind of bank account. You know how you have like the basic savings account, then you have like the premium, then you have like the business, like there's different levels. And that's one thing that I haven't looked into just yet. But those different levels require you to have like a minimum amount in the account at all times, so you don't incur fees or you have to pay every month, something like that. And I don't know if I want to do that just yet. But what I've currently been doing, I opened a Korean PayPal account and I've connected it to my Korean bank account, and I transfer money from my Korean PayPal account to my American PayPal account. There is a fee. The most I've transferred over so far is 300,000 won, and it incurred a fee of about $15, which is not that bad. So yeah, the more money you send, the more money it is. But I mean, that's the easiest way for me that I've learned how to transfer money. So I transfer it from my Korean bank account to Korean PayPal, from Korea PayPal to US PayPal, from US PayPal to my bank account in the United States. Do you get your hair done in Korea? Are there salons that do black hair? If so, where? If there are salons in Korea that can do black hair, particularly in Itaewon, because that's kind of like the foreigner hub. But do I get my hair done here? No. Not at all, because I don't trust anybody with my hair unless like I see proven results that they can work with my texture hair. My texture hair is not that easy. So I actually do my hair myself because I work too hard to keep my hair, get my hair this length. I can't talk, you guys. Oh my gosh. All right. Korean Pathfinder said, with KEB, you have a regular account and a transfer account. Anything sent to transfer account would automatically get sent to your bank account at home. I've heard of the KEB bank, but I didn't hear about it before I opened my Citibank. So I maybe should have done that. Yeah, so that's the way I transfer my money. Do you guys have any other questions? Got 3 minutes left. Were you nervous when you started teaching, and how did you get over it? 13 Mystique asked that question. Girl, yes, I was so nervous. I remember when I first walked on campus and I was like, oh my gosh, like these people really trust me to teach. Like I obviously haven't taught a class a day in my life. Like I was so nervous. And I think everybody's nervous, but you know, I think after like I would say after the first 3 months, that's when I was like, okay, I'm getting the hang of this. I think I got it. You know, there's still times like walking into class and talking is nothing for me. But like I still struggle with lesson planning sometimes because like I still I struggle with finding things that are really interesting and that keep my students' attention all the time. That's really my only problem. But other than like actually teaching and speaking in front of a group of students, there's no problem because the students are cool. Thank you. My hair looks good. Dana Maben asked, I know a lot of people I know a lot of people go to Korea to help pay off student loans. Can you access American websites from Korea? Yes, you can access American websites from Korea. There's some websites that you can't, but it's like entertainment websites like abc.com, Hulu, stuff like that. But I would suggest that you buy a VPN if you want to try to access those sites. But yeah, you could try to pay off your student loans here. And that's what I'm trying to do too, because I got almost $30,000 in student loans I got to pay back, you guys. Yeah, the struggle. Kayla asks, would you recommend me as an African American to travel to a lot of Asian countries? Please don't judge. Girl, Kayla, girl, travel. Don't worry about being a different color. People everywhere is going to look at you because, one, you stand out amongst the crowd. You're different. You speak another language. And it's not even just because of your skin color. It's just because you're different, because you're a foreigner. Don't let your background, don't let your race, don't let any of that stuff hold you back from actually traveling and doing something that you want to do. Girl, walk with your head held high and just go, because don't worry, you can't worry about what all these other people think, because if you worry about what everybody else thinks, then you're not going to be living your life to the fullest. So go out and explore, travel, go places you want to go places you never thought of. I know for me it was one of the things that was in my mind, but once you're in another country, you realize how minute those concerns are when you actually are there. You cannot dwell on those looks. You can't dwell on what you may think other people are thinking. You can't dwell on that. You have to live your life and do it however you want, because that's the only way that you're going to fulfill what you want to do. So girl, travel the world, okay? Don't let anything hold you back. Yeah. Coco Sweet, Kayla asks, hold on. Kayla asks, do you listen to K-pop? I do not. My students want me to, and I'm just like, I think it's just it's like super produced, very overproduced, and it's very commercialized. They know these music companies, they know exactly what is bringing in these people that's interested in K-pop. It's this overproduced, fake idealism of what people should look like, how people should act. Like, it's just, I don't know. I don't listen. I really don't listen to any music like that. Before I started doing this video, I was listening to Christmas music. The majority of the time I'm listening to jazz music. Like, I just can't with today's music. It's not, I have anything against K-pop. I just don't listen to any music at all. So yeah. Will your, Coco asked, will my unlocked iPhone work there? I made a video about this on the Corvia website about your phones, like how to get a phone in Korea. So go and check that out, because it's just like a kind of like a long thing, long explanation. Oh, what kind of camera do I use for my filming? I use, I don't have it around here. I use a Samsung X. Let me get it so I can show you guys. No lie, I forgot the name of it. Oops, come back. I use a Samsung NX300. So this is the camera that I use. I got my flip screen just like that. So yeah, that's the one I use, and it does everything that I need it to do. Yeah. Do I think it's the best camera? No, it's not the best camera. The camera I actually wanted was a Sony, but Emart didn't have a Sony at that time, so I got a Samsung. And I figured, since I'm in the land of Samsung, there's no harm getting a Samsung, because if I needed it fixed, I could go anywhere. All right, Janelli asked, do you have a coworker that is pretty helpful? I've heard so many horror stories about their coworkers. Yes, my coworkers, my co-teacher, basically the one who is over me and like my process and stuff like that, she is amazing. I've actually had two. I actually had one before her, and she was pregnant, so she had to leave, and then this is a replacement, and she's actually leaving in January, so I'm gonna have another replacement. So I hope that relationship works out. But the last two, they were pretty much my lifelines in Korea, because, you know, there's some things that happen that you really can't do on your own. Like, for example, I had lost my debit card. My Korean debit card just fell out of my wallet, and I couldn't find it. So I needed to call the place to cancel it. And Citibank, you know, they advertise, oh, we have foreign services and all that stuff. However, when you call the foreign bank place thing, the entire answering service is in Korean. So like, what how the heck is that going to help me? So I had to call my co-teacher to come and do it and be on the phone for me. And like at that time I actually cried, because it's just like I feel like I'm helpless. I'm like a baby trying, because I can't do certain things on my own because I feel so limited. But like I explained to her, I was like, you are my lifeline. Like, you don't understand like what it means to me that you're here. And I do believe that your co-teacher is one of the biggest impacts that create, or it creates your experience, or it takes away from your experience. So, you know, I'm like on top of my co-teacher all the time. And I'm in her life. Like, I'm more of an aggressive person. So if I have questions, I go to my co-teacher and I'm on top of her about it. I know some people, they're just like, oh, do you think you could do this? Or not even, oh, what do you think about this? Oh, ask me later. And they won't go back. Like, I'm aggressive, and I let them know. I'm like, listen, I need my times for my vacation. I need my time. Like, since August, I was like, when is my winter vacation? When is my winter vacation? When, like, and a lot of times people won't get that information because they just wait until the last minute and they're like, I hope that my co-teacher works. No, you have to be on top of them, because they are busy. They forget. Like, I see it right there in front of my face. Like, they're always super busy, and the schools are requiring them to do a lot more than what their job description actually tells them to do. So yeah, you have to be on top of them, be aggressive. That's my advice. Are electronics cheap there? Depends on what you want to get. This was about $400, $400 to $500, something like that. So I don't know if it's cheap. Yeah. Korean Pathfinder, I think co-teachers are a random grab bag. Some will put everything on you, others will do everything and leave you. I mean, I think it just really depends on what kind of co-teacher you have. It really depends on the person themselves. You know, and you know, I personally just let my co-teacher know, like, you are my lifeline. I cannot really do anything without you. And like, I tell her how appreciative I am of her and everything that she does. I always like, I want a relationship with my co-teacher, because that's the basis of having one of the positive experiences here. That's what I really try to do. Kayla, have you ever traveled to any other countries? I've traveled to Japan. I actually supposed to do a vlog about that. But yeah, I went to Japan in September. That's it. In December, I'm going to India and China. So yeah. Anyways, you guys, is that it? I'm kind of over 7 minutes over. I was trying to talk really fast. I don't know if you can tell. Anything else, you guys? All right, so since it seems like we are good and everybody's questions are answered, I'm going to, first of all, tell you guys to follow me on Instagram. So if you guys are not following me on Instagram already, you guys are missing on life. So my Instagram, it looks like this. _fabulous.nat. Okay, fabulous.nat. Go follow me on Instagram. I post a lot. If you guys don't see me on YouTube, most likely I'll have stuff on my Instagram. I post a lot of other stuff on Instagram. So like, even this, when I went to Japan, all my Japan stuff is there. When I was in Tokyo, you see ramen over here. So go and follow me on there. If you guys want to follow me on Snapchat, that's also another one that you can see me. So FabulousNat1 is my handle on Snapchat. And I do a lot of like everyday stuff on Snapchat. So if you guys want to see me right there, right then, follow me on Snapchat. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Off top of morning, making your eggs. All right, before I finish, let me just answer this last question. Princess for Life asked about my hair video. I have a beauty channel, okay? My beauty channel is called Fabulous Nat on YouTube, okay? Fabulous Nat, all right? So that's why everything for me is called Fabulous Nat, because my beauty channel's name is Fabulous Nat. I do hair, I do makeup, all that stuff. When is my next hair and makeup video? Hopefully within in the next week or two, because I already have it all filmed. I just have to edit it, which I haven't done. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, go ahead and yeah, thank you guys so much for coming and spending time with me, and for spending your night. It's most likely your night there. So thank you guys for staying and welcoming me into your homes all across the world. Thank you guys. I really do appreciate you guys tuning in, and I hope I helped you guys with any questions that you guys had, and I hope I was able to give you some good tips that you guys could use. But yeah, thank you guys so much. I love you guys. You guys are so amazing. Have a wonderful night or morning wherever you guys are. Mwah. Bye, you guys. Bye.